Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is day 20th of the Leetcode Day Challenge. Hit the like button, subscribe button, join me on Discord. Let me know what you think about this one. My apologies for it being a little bit late. Yesterday I just was very tiring. I watched the Yankees game. They won. Yay, World Series. Liberty game is tonight, but just was very tired and didn't feel like I was able to do this last night. So last night here in New York anyway. So let's get started on this one. We have a 1106 parsing a Boolean expression. It is a hard problem, so it is unfortunate that I'm getting this a little bit late, but let's get it anyway. At least I just woke up, so I should have a little bit more energy, even if, I don't know, I still feel like I'm allergic to something. Okay, so Boolean expression is I'm going to read this while drinking, so read it in your head, in my voice if you like. Okay, I mean, this is a parsing function problem. There are a couple of ways you can do this. You can wait. Oh no, there's sub expressions. Okay. It's very awkward. They don't have. I don't know why they don't have an expression of just like one tough one, but you could probably come up with one. And what I mean by that is just one where you have operators on both of them. But this is an expression parsing thing. I don't think there's anything to debate about it. And the way that I always do it is not always, I guess. If it's simple enough, I don't, but generally I just think about it in terms of recursive descent, and here they define the language anyway. So I think then it just becomes implementation, right? So let's get to it, right? So the way that I have is I have like a consume. I mean, I've been kind of cleaning this up a little bit just to mention it, because I feel like in the past videos I don't always do it, but yeah, we consume one character at a time, and we have a like a local thing, right? Right. C is equal to expression of count, something like that, right? So we consume one character at a time, and maybe a peak. Is there a peak and consume? I guess I guess peak and consume could be different things. I'm trying to like clean it up a little bit, so maybe it's a still work in progress, honestly. At least on like trying to get it in my head. Like usually and in real life you generally should not write your own parser. I mean, for practice and learning you can definitely do that, but if you need something really complicated and you need it for production level, you probably do not want to write it if you could avoid it. Or there's a lot of things you have to do to make sure, because it's just so easy to get it wrong. And the thing with these Leetcode problems especially is that they tell you that the expression is valid, but if it's not valid, then it gets really hard really quickly. So I always have, I try now to have a peak and consume, right? And yeah, the sub expression, but before that, is the entire thing a regular expression? Regular expression, that's confusing. But okay. I don't like how they define the sub expression, because this isn't quite precise in how they define it. They should just call it an expression and not a sub expression, because a sub expression means nothing, right? But I don't know, maybe that's just me being honest, right? So then now here maybe we have a parse, right? To return, to get the value. And then now we can peek, right? So well, this is maybe parse expression, right? Because then you can define it as three things, maybe, or whatever, right? So then now, okay, so we're parsing an expression. An expression could be true. So this is pretty easy to kind of look, right? So maybe C for peak, right? So if, well, we have a switch statement. Actually, I should learn a little bit better about switch statements. So I do have to Google it a little bit, and because switch statements are were released in Python 3.10, and I don't do it enough. I always do like some sort of dispatch table or if-else statements. I'm trying to be a little bit better at switch statements, so that's why because it still doesn't come natural to me just because I have not practiced it enough because it hasn't been out that much. But okay, so I mean it's all syntax, right? So it's not a big deal, but I just want to kind of make sure that I have this. So okay, case T, then we just return true, right? And case F, we return false, right? So then now we go to right? Then if it is a not statement, then we just return parse not or something, right? Parse and maybe, and for this, the idea is really just breaking down all these to different tokens and just try to figure it out. And this should be good. Wait, how do I get a default case? Okay. And you know, you should for a real exception, but I'm just being lazy. So then now you can just do return parse expression, and that's pretty tight. But then now you have to write out all these other sub pieces, which is also fine because they tell you. Well, in general, they usually tell you exactly how to do it. I mean, Leetcode, who knows, right? So then, okay. So then now we assert that peak is equal to a not, right? And then we consume. And of course, keeping in mind that peak and consume can throw exceptions if you go out of bounds, so you have to be really careful about it. But if it's well formed, then it should not be. You could also add guardrails and stuff like this, but yeah, so peak we consume, right? So then now we assert that peak is equal to always be left parens, right? So then after that we consume, and maybe we can even like put this in a whatever no, yeah, you can always put this in a helper function, as you kind of see, right? So like, how to do it? Assert or fail, maybe a cat, something like that, right? Asserted peak. Like I'm trying to think. What is the thing? Just like a confirm or something, right? Like assure? No, that's not the word. Assert, assure, ascertain, something like this. English is hard. Enforce. There you go. Maybe something like that. Just enforce something, but I don't know. Right, so something like that, right? So here, then now we can just be a little bit cleaner with enforce enforce left parens, right? And then now we have a sub expression. So how do you get the sub expression? Well, yeah, just parse expression. So then now the result is going to be parse expression. We're going to enforce that the next, and enforce also consume, right? That's the other thing, right? Enforce and consume maybe, but it is very now it's a long type, but okay, fine, right? And then now we can return R after it's done, right? And yeah, and that's pretty much it, right? Oh no, I lied. We have to do the not part. We just kind of done this, so we have to do the not part, which is that we parse the expression, and then we do the logical not of it, right? So we return not R. Or you can maybe say R is equal to not R or something. I don't know. As long as you do one of them and not do double negative, then that should be fine. And then now we have a parse and, right? Same idea. You have a really long function name of this. And you have to, yeah, the left parens, the right parens. And yeah. And then now we have a comma delimited thing, right? So here we can say while peak is not equal to right parenthesis. That means that while this is not ending, we're going to get more of these, right? So that means that something like this, we could clean it up though. I mean, this is why we have. So now, but first we have a result, and it has to have at least one. Oh, it has to have at least one. So then, because it's an AND result, we can just set it to true because you keep on ANDing it, and if we return R. So while this is not true, then we do something like AND equals to parse expression, right? And this parse expression will just parse the expression and give you a thing. And then after that, maybe this is a little bit awkward. I actually prefer more specific while true, right? So then now after parsing expression, there only be two things, right? A comma or a right parenthesis. So then now if peak is equal to or not equal, you could write it another way. But I mean, because the reason why I'm a little bit like it doesn't matter is because the expression is valid, right? They're guaranteed to be valid. If they are invalid things, then you have to think about, okay, what are the invalid states that we can get into, and how do we judge for it? But for this one, because it's supposed to be well formed, it shouldn't matter. So if it's not this, then we break, right? And if it's not this, it can only be this, really. So yeah. And really, the OR part is just going to be copy and paste. So I am going to do that, and that's pretty much it, really. Hopefully, anyway. Yeah, except for now, it starts to force, and we want an OR expression, right? With a better sentinel, and that's pretty much it. It's a little bit long, but oh, whoops. It's a little bit long, but well, and a little bit wrong, long and wrong. But the idea here is that also, I mean, it is a little bit long, but if it's wrong, yeah, that is just so weird to say every time. But if it's long, okay, I don't have to restart. But if it's wrong, then everything is very readable, and you can kind of match it to spec to see where it went wrong if it's not, right? And here, I guess we'll have to do. Did I mess up something? Parse not. Oh, we don't consume the C. That's why. Should I? Okay. I mean, we can just consume. It doesn't. Huh. Oh wait, no, we don't consume this, right? Because the first character is not, then we consume it here. Though maybe we could consume it on the other level. I don't know. But that's interesting. So here, then now maybe we don't print peak. We have an F instead of right. Oh, I was a little bit lazy on this. You do need to consume for T and F, but for which is true for the main one, but not for here. Okay. Like you can also return in theory. Actually, the cleaner way, and I kind of was a little bit lazy here. In theory, what you should is actually parse true and parse false, right? And I kind of just got lazy a little bit. But here, then now you can enforce and consume T, right? And then return true. And same for false. And maybe you could have maybe you could actually abstract even this part a little bit so that they're cleaner. But I just want to get the idea of like what all these things are. Yeah. Oh, still wrong. Oh. That means that something is calling parse expression with an empty statement, I think. Or wait, well, maybe, I don't know. But you can see that this is also a comma. Dong dong dong. Did I mess something up? An expression. That means that something is not consuming correctly. So that means because here. Oh. I'm just dumb. I didn't consume the comma. But this is the thing, right? Is that it makes it so easy to kind of to debug, because it, you know. Okay, there we go. A couple of silliness inside, but hopefully that was actually useful in kind of showing you how easy it is to kind of fix some of these in debugging, because you know, you're just like, okay, well, every peak should have a consume, really. Yeah, I think in general you always want to do it, but let me clean this up actually. I mean, all right, let me actually have I done this before? No, so I don't have a video on this. But let me do a quick submit. I think I'm a little bit lazy. I just do a quick submit. Looks good. Ooh, 1664 day streak, yay. But I do want to clean this up. I think the other way I should have done it is like there are two ways of doing this. It depends on the problem sometimes, because it can get complicated. But instead of peak, and this is kind of what I had before, kind of, right? Which is that rep this with r is equal to expression count, we return r, right? And then now you can rewrite it so that you don't need these additional ones. Only for the top level things, right? Because we already parsed that out. But sometimes you need it because sometimes there are different ways to get to the same sub expression, and that's why that is kind of important. Oops, I have a peak somewhere. It's a little bit awkward actually, because the reason why I have it a little bit awkward is because then now this part, if you consume, then you also return or something. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe the old way is fine actually. Okay, let's put it back in. I think this part I'm still a little bit shaky on whether to do it, but yeah. That's all I have for this one in idea. Let's go over the code. I think the clean way, I mean the reason why this is a little bit better, I mean, you can definitely do things in a way that is shorter, right? But I think like if you write it in this way, then you don't have to think about any states. There's no real states about this. It's just about defining the language in a precise way, so that then if you have to change something, then no, you don't have to change any ideas. The order of operation and stuff like that is all handled as well. It's just about how you merge these things together. And the thing about this one is that the merging is on, I guess, on the and and the or, so which you can do in a linear way. But you can imagine that if there's an order precedence or something, then you have to figure that out, I suppose. But I mean, yeah. You can also convert it to like, the reverse Polish notation or something like that. But yeah, let's go over it real quick. But that's the beauty, is that even though this is very long, I mean, the code itself is pretty super readable, even though it's a little bit long, and they're in, small functions. And you can actually, if you really like, unit test individual ones, right? So you don't even need to, which makes it a little bit easier to make confidence. If you make small changes, or if you change the definition of something like that. Like before, if if I wasn't happy with like if I really wasn't able to kind of just be like, oh yeah, I forgot to consume the peak for a comma, I could have wrote a lot of testing code for the parse or the parse and then see where it breaks, right? And that'll allow us to just get a little bit better. I guess the parse expression does go back to it at some point. But you can definitely build that up one at a time, right? But yeah, here's my peak. Here's my enforce and consume. And And then yeah, parse n is basically what they tell you, right? The n sign, the left parens, right parens, and then comma delimited sub expression, which are just expressions, right? Same for or. Just keeping in mind the minor differences with the sentinel. You can also set it to, if you really want, you also set it to none or something, and then do like an extra if statement, right? Parse not is, you parse the expression and you just have this not thing. Parse true to false. Just make sure you consume, which I was a little bit lazy on. Well, I was just thinking about I don't know why. I didn't think about it like multi-levels deep, so I was like, huh. But then you have to consume it, because otherwise, yeah. Yeah, and we look at each character. We look at each character like 6 times at most, or one for each things. It's pretty reasonable. Pretty linear time, linear space due to the stack space. But other than stack space, it's pretty cheap. So yeah, that's all I have for this one. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna scroll down very slowly one more time so you could get all the code. And yeah, I didn't do it slowly, but I did it page by page. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great Sunday and weekend. Go Liberties and go Yankees. Stay good, stay healthy to good mental health. I'll see y'all later and take care. Bye bye.